The question remains though, where's the third palette? Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be trying not one but both of the new Charlotte Face in a Palette palettes. I have them right over here. These are called the Pretty Blushed Beauty Palette and the Glowing Beauty Palette. I cannot wait to try both of these. I am going to try them individually. I'm going to do a whole look and then a separate look with the second palette. We are going to compare them amongst each other, and we are also going to compare them with the Stone Beauty palette that came out maybe like a year and a half ago now, and that way we can see where the similarities are and whether or not you guys need these. Now if you're new to my channel, my name is Patty and I'm always posting videos on new makeup techniques and the best makeup out there. So if you are into any of those topics, make sure you subscribe before you leave, and we have a lot to get into, so let's go ahead and get started. Of course, I had to get both of these to try for you guys because I wanted to compare them and I wanted to help you make a decision on which one you need if you're going for one of them. And because my order was over $150, it actually qualified me on the Charlotte Tilbury website for a free full size, like the bigger size magic cream. So I got a 1.7 ounce magic cream, which is usually $100, for free with my purchase because I met their $150 threshold. So if you've been thinking about buying anything from the Charlotte website, I would say this is the time to do it because a free magic cream is an amazing deal. I was so happy when I saw that magic cream in my cart. I could not believe that it said 50 ml. I was like, are you sure? And sure enough, it showed up at my door and there is that big old jar of magic cream. I am so excited. So of course I'm going to leave you links to everything down in the description box of this video, so if there's anything that you're interested in, check it out down there. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with these palettes. These palettes come in this beautiful romantic pink box. They're both called Instant Look of Love in a Palette 5-Minute Face on the Go. And we have two variations, the Pretty Blushed Beauty, which is the lighter shade, and the Glowing Beauty, which is the one that is more for medium complexions. Now right away I can say that Charlotte has a great variety of like foundation shades, bronzer shades, etc. But I feel like she definitely needs to continue being inclusive. So why release only two of these? If you're going to cater to fair light skin, medium tan skin, why not also cater to dark deep skin? I feel like there should be at least a third palette of these, if not maybe 4 total. So honestly, that was a little bit disappointing for me. Now, usually she only comes out with one of these and she came out with 2 this time. Hopefully next time she releases palettes like these, she actually caters to all skin tones. Anyways, let me move on from that. Here's what the outside of the palettes look like. They have a heart in the center and then this very unique Charlotte Tilbury rose gold packaging. It looks like the heart is like radiating something, love maybe. And then once you open it, this is what the Glowing Beauty palette looks like. It has 3 beautiful eyeshadows. I cannot wait to play with the one in the middle. I love sparkles, and the smoke shade in this one looks absolutely beautiful. I really love that tone of brown. I do know that the face highlight is not going to work for me because that one was made more for medium complexions. And here's the Pretty Blushed Beauty palette. In this one you find the glittery shade as the first one, and the deeper shade in the eyeshadow is a little bit lighter. Now in this one I'm super excited to try the blush shade. Before I go in and start playing with these palettes, let me go ahead and show you what the swatches look like. Alright, here are the swatches of the Pretty Blushed Beauty palette, which is the lightest one of the two. The first 3 shades are the 3 eyeshadows on top, and then we have the bronzer, highlighter, blush, and the face powder. As you can see, this is a pretty light palette. None of the shades in here are intense at all, and it has this really beautiful peachy shimmer that you can put in the eyelid or inner corner. I'm also very intrigued by this blush right here. It looks really beautiful. Okay, and here are the swatches of the other palette. This is called the Glowing Beauty palette. And again, we have the 3 eyeshadow shades. In this case, the sparkly one is the second one. We have the bronzer, highlighter, which as you can see is a little bit too dark for my skin tone, blush, and face powder. So here are the swatches, and I think this could be a really good palette for somebody with a medium to tan complexion. Now that you guys saw the swatches, the first palette I want to play with is the Glowing Beauty palette. So in this one, I'm pretty sure that the highlighter is not going to work for me. I could probably use it as eyeshadow, which is totally fine, but I'm pretty sure that I can put to use everything else. Now, in comparison to previous palettes she's done, she used to have 2 blushes and the highlighter on the right side, so I immediately really like that she thought of putting the highlighter and blush in the center and using some kind of setting powder to put in here, because this really, I feel like, completes the face. Like with a setting powder in here, this would be all of the powder products you would need to truly do a full face of makeup. You would obviously still need your foundation and concealer, but you do immediately already have your setting powder in here, which in none of her previous face in a palette palettes you got. So I thought that was a genius idea to put a setting powder in here and really complete the full face in a palette look. So let me go ahead and start with the setting powder. I'm not entirely sure that this setting powder is going to work for me, but I'll try it. Oh shit, I went into the blush, didn't I? I was trying to show you, oh god, what a fail. I was trying to show you how it makes my face like a teeny tiny bit darker. So if you are as fair as me or a little bit more fair, keep in mind that this powder might make you a little bit tanner. Let me be more careful this time. I did use a brush that was a bit too big for that pan size. Let's do it again. So yes, this setting powder does make my face a teeny tiny bit tanner than usual. But again, if I am like traveling somewhere and I want to take this palette with me, I don't think I would mind too much if I had to set my face with this powder. Next, I want to try the bronzer, and I'm going to try and use it sparingly again because this is a little bit darker for me, but I want to try and see if I can make it work. So I'm using my BK Beauty 103 brush to blend this bronzer out. Now BK Beauty is actually having a Mother's Day sale right now, and they have everything on their website 20% to 30% off. I'm going to leave you my link and the discount code down in the description. So if you guys have been wanting some BK Beauty brushes, I think this is a good time to check them out. I feel like for powder products, I definitely still prefer my REPHR brushes, but I know that REPHR could be a little bit pricier than these. And then for liquid though, I do prefer BK Beauty, especially the BK Beauty 101 brush. I don't know how I just went on this whole tangent, but this brush right here, amazing for foundation. And then the other brushes I really love are the 107, the 103, and the 108. Anyway, so they have a 20 to 30% off sale going on right now if anybody is interested. Okay, as you guys can see, I am making the bronzer work, and I really like that it has a truly neutral undertone, this one. So even though it's making my face look a little bit more sun-kissed, it's not making it look orange, which I feel like sometimes can happen when you go a little deeper with your bronzer. Now that the bronzer is applied, I'm going to go in with blush and the 107 brush from BK Beauty. Definitely going to use this blush very sparingly because since it's made from a medium to tan complexion, I feel like we could go wrong very fast with it. I'm grabbing the blush from here, tapping it on the back of my hand, and then applying it because again, I want to be able to slowly build it up. I don't want to do too much too fast. And since I'm newly into putting blush on my nose, here we go. Now for the purpose of showing you what everything looks like on my skin tone, I'm going to go ahead and do the highlighter on my face with my 108 brush from BK Beauty. However, based on the swatches, I'm pretty sure this is not going to work for me. But here goes nothing. See, it's definitely giving my face color that I do not need up there, right? We can see a cast right here on the side. But if you have a medium to tan skin tone, this highlighter would actually be really pretty for you. With the BK 206 brush, I'm going to use the color Brighten. And I'm putting this color on the first half of my eyelid. I zoomed you in a little closer. This one looks really nice right here on the first half of the eyelid. With the same brush, I'm grabbing the color Enhance. Usually her Enhance shades are the ones that you're meant to put on the crease of your eye. But I'm going to put this one on the other half of the eyelid because it's so sparkly. You know what? Every time I do this, you guys tell me to do it the way it's meant to be done. So I'm going to put it on my crease. Same brush though. And I'm just going to back and forth put it up on the crease of the eye. And now with the eye smudger brush from Charlotte, I'm going to use the color Smoke and place it right here on the outer corner. Look at how nice and pigmented that is. That is beautiful. I'm also going to take it right underneath my eyes. And I'm blending it out with my BK Beauty 202 brush. Once again, tapping that darker shade on the outer corner, and I go a little bit on the crease as well. See how that looks super smudgy and messy? Now I'm just going in with the BK Beauty blending brush in 202 and just running it through all of the edges, including underneath the eye. Doing little circles with that brush, and it blends all out. I put on my eyeliner in Walk with No Shame in my waterline, and this is the Glowing Beauty look before mascara. Let me go ahead and do mascara and show you the final Glowing Beauty look. Okay, back with some mascara on. I just put a little bit of my Dark Star mascara from Pat McGrath on because I don't want to overdo it because I'm about to take my makeup off to do the other palette. Now, something else that I bought with the collection was the Wedding Bells lipstick. This is the second time she launches this, but I did not get them the first time, and I was eyeing the color Wedding Bells since it came out, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I'm going to use my Iconic Nude lip liner with it. I cannot wait to try this Wedding Bells lipstick. It looked so good. Okay, so finally here is the look with the Glowing Beauty palette. The highlighter definitely did not work for me, but everything else in the palette did, and you can always use the highlighter as an extra eyeshadow as well. But now let me actually get into the palette that was made for my complexion, which is the Pretty Blushed Beauty palette, and see what that looks like on me. Okay, I went ahead and took everything off, and I reapplied my foundation, concealer, and a teeny tiny bit of under eye setting powder, and let's go in with the other palette. So first things first, once again, is the face palette. I'm going to be very careful with this big old brush, and I'm just going to buff it all over. As you can see, this one still has like a teeny tiny bit of coverage to it because it's not going on like translucent powder. I feel like it gives me a little bit of color still. You guys see that? I just wondered for a second if I was using the right palette, but I am. This is the lightest of the two. Here are both of the powders swatched next to each other, so you can really see that on my light skin. Both of them look a little bit darker. This one right over here is the medium to tanned complexion one, and this is the like fair to light. I honestly feel like I'm okay using either one. It doesn't change my foundation color all that much, but I do wish that it was more of a true translucent powder rather than something that can change the color of your foundation a little bit. I'm going to use my REPHR number 24 for bronzer, and the bronzer in this palette is a much lighter shade, so I don't have to be as careful with it. I can't deny that I do really prefer REPHR brushes when it comes to powder products. Like if you can wait for the next REPHR sale, I would hold off so that you can get the REPHR brushes because I really love them a lot more. But if you don't like to use natural brush hairs, or if you have been looking into BK Beauty, definitely check that sale out. And if you're holding out for the next REPHR sale, then definitely still get this foundation brush right here because this one is truly unique and special, and you are absolutely going to love it. This is the BK Beauty 101 brush. For blush, I'm going to use my REPHR number 5. And this is that light peachy blush that I was so excited to try. I gotta say, I really like the tone of it. Ooh, I think I overdid my nose. Oh well. Let's go for the highlighter now. And this is going to be the highlighter. See, yeah, definitely the highlighter for me. This is definitely the palette for you if you have my complexion. Look at how nice that looks. I think I did a little too much highlighter, but that is a-okay. I'm going to use a flat brush for the first shade right over here. And I'm going to put it on my eyelid 3/4 of the way in. Just tapping and dragging that shimmery shade. With my REPHR number 27, I'm going into the color Enhance. And I'm going to use it as my crease shade. So just back and forth windshield wiper motions with it. My AC just turned on, so I'm so sorry if you can hear it. The brush I was just using is actually the number 16. I'm actually going to use the 27 now for the smoke shade. And I'm going to just concentrate it on the outer V of the eye and intensify the look with it. Just sweeping very lightly back and forth with the fluffy brush and underneath the eye. Okay, I went ahead and put on a brown eyeliner in my waterline, and I'm going to do some mascara and be back to show you the final look. I'm back, and I went ahead and applied the Wedding Bells lipstick with no lip liner this time and just put on some mascara. And this is the final look with the Pretty Blushed Beauty palette. Obviously, I left this one for last because this is the palette that is meant for my skin tone. So in this one, the highlighter works. I don't have to be careful with the blush and the bronzer. Again, I was able to make the blush and the bronzer in the darker one work, but I was using it very sparingly and blending it out as I went. While with the light palette, I can just be heavy-handed and just blend it out, and it'll work for my complexion because it is made for fair to light skin. The question remains though, where's the third palette? I definitely feel like there should be a dark skin palette version of this as well. I went ahead and swatched it at work on my friend Shireen, and this is what it looks like on her dark complexion. As you can see, the bronzer does not work, and the face palette is an absolute joke on a darker complexion. Now, before I jump to my final conclusions, I wanted to show you these palettes in comparison with the Stone Rose Beauty palette that came out around 1.5 years ago, which is this one right here. So here's the Pretty Blushed Beauty palette next to the Stone Rose Beauty palette, and the Glowing Beauty palette next to the Stone Rose Beauty palette. Alright, I went ahead and swatched all three palettes, bronzer, blushes, and highlighters on my arm so that I can show you guys how they're different from one another. So this is from the Stone Rose Beauty palette, that is their bronzer, and then this one is from the Pretty Blushed Beauty and the Glowing Beauty. These two blushes are from the Stone Rose palette. This is the blush from the Pretty Blushed Beauty. This is the blush from the Glowing Beauty. This is the highlighter from the Stone Rose palette. This is the highlighter from the Pretty Blushed Beauty palette and the Glowing Beauty palette. Okay, so here are the swatches of the eyeshadows. I did the 3 prime shades, 3 enhanced shades, 3 smoke shades. So Stone Rose, Pretty Blushed Beauty, Glowing Beauty, Stone Rose, Pretty Blushed Beauty, Glowing Beauty. You can see this is more like a topper type of shade. It's not shimmery like the rest of them. And then Stone Rose, Pretty Blush Beauty, and Glowing Beauty. Now, as far as my final thoughts, I don't think any of us are actually buying these palettes for their innovative shades or color stories, because really these are color stories that are in a lot of the most popular palettes out there, and more than likely you already have them in your collection. In my opinion, this is a palette that you get for convenience. I have had my Stone Rose Beauty palette for a while now, and I've traveled with it 3 to 4 times. I always think of it when I want to go anywhere because it is just so compact, it fits anywhere, and it has so much in it that I can have a lot more options with my makeup by just bringing this right over here. So obviously I think the same thing about these two palettes. They're going to be very convenient to have if you're someone who does their makeup on the go, or somebody who travels a lot, or somebody who just simply is more of a makeup minimalist. You don't want to have a bunch of like things around in your collection. You just want to have a few products that do a lot for you. If you are that type of makeup person, then this is the palette for you. Or if you're thinking and planning to travel and you want to have something that you can take with you and it's not going to occupy a lot of space, then these are the palettes for you. I'm pretty upset that there's not at least a third option of these palettes. I feel like that would have been truly inclusive for her to have something for darker complexions. And I think it's important to talk about this because she's done such a good job at being inclusive in a lot of aspects of her line. Charlotte's Airbrush Flawless Foundation has a huge amount of deep shades with a variety of undertones. She continues to expand shades in products like the Hollywood Flawless Filter to include deeper and more in-between shades. So she's definitely going in the right direction. But I feel like with new launches of face palettes like these, deeper complexions definitely should be included as well. I think that is all I have to say. Of course, everything will be linked down below. I have a giveaway going on. I am less than 100 people away from getting to 10,000 followers on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram yet, please go ahead and follow me on there. I'm giving away a bunch of things. The details are on my Instagram account, of course. And if you haven't seen the giveaway, the prize includes a Pat McGrath palette and a bunch of other favorite products of mine. So definitely check it out. Check out my Instagram. It's at Patty C. Alonso. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!